last weekend I came across an incident where I was listening to a conversation between a father and a son. Son, maybe 12 to 13 years old, and they were at a salon, and I was waiting for my haircut in the salon. Okay, and boy was in a barber's chair, and he was diligently following the instructions which he was getting from barber. But what I saw was on top of barber's instruction, father keep on adding, don't shake your head, don't tilt your head, don't move, don't sneeze, etc., etc., etc. And the boy was getting restless. And somehow the boy managed to complete the haircut without any adverse thing happening to his head or his face. And after he finished his haircut, he asked his dad whether he can go home or not. And his house was just a lane across. But father was not ready to allow his son to go home alone. And he has to wait until father completed his haircut. And I was just recalling my childhood, where I don't remember my father or grandfather accompanying me to a barber shop after I turned 5 or 6. And that's how I was grown up, not just me. All the kids who were born and brought up in 80s or before that, they would have gone to barber shop alone. No, none of the father or grandfather bothered to take them to barber shop. That's how we are groomed and grown up, right? This is the one incident which I saw in the saloon. At the same time, I saw another dad who was at the saloon with his 2 or 3 year old child. And father had given the mobile phone to the child, and he was least bothered to see what the child was doing. Right. And you may be wondering why I'm discussing this incident when I'm reviewing the book called Anxious Generation, written by Jonathan Haidt. And this is one of the books which was highly rated last year. Right. And no need to wonder that whatever I discuss on the instant, it has something to do with this book. Let's see. There is an overprotection happening in the real world, and there is no protection at all in the virtual world, which we are giving to our children. Basically, he's emphasizing with the end of play-based childhood, the generation started becoming anxious. And if you see the children born after 1995 who got used to with mobile phones or smartphones from their childhood, they are becoming anxious because with mobile phone, there is an clear evidence that kids are becoming more isolated, anxious, and depressed. And Jonathan Haidt goes on digging very deep on what are the impacts of mobile phone in childhood. The shift from childhood, which is play-based, and the moment to the phone-based childhood, there are a lot of evidence which shows preteens are getting impacted with depression, anxieties, and a lot of varieties of mental health issues. Okay, and people don't get depressed when they are facing threat, but they get depressed when they are isolated. That's a key thing which we need to take from this book. And he keep on emphasizing the importance of child's play-based childhood. When we go through the book, the studies are mostly based on the researches which Jonathan and team conducted in Western countries like Europe, US, and Canada. But I'll say this research is still relevant in India as well, because a smartphone is not just for Western countries. It's available across, and even in India we see a lot of impacts in childhood, that is basically the pre-teens. Like play-based childhood is most important for every child. At the same time, even mobile phones gives a lot of information, but information is not the key for the physical experience. When it comes to play-based childhood, child goes through the physical experience, and they go through the emotional experience of reality, not the virtual thing, right? And when it comes to mobile phone or smartphone, they get a lot of information, but they don't know which one is real and which one is fake, and where they need to connect emotionally or not. We often frame a smartphone as a villain, but the key thing which we need to notice is it's not smartphone, it's the parenting. That's the key issue, which is making the children anxious, right? And Jonathan Haidt suggests four key reforms to come out of this anxious generation phase. First one being no smartphones to children up until the high school, and social media should be banned until 16, and school should be free from mobile phone. And the fourth one, the most critical one, the far more unsupervised play and the child's independence. These are the four key reforms of which Jonathan Haidt is recommending all the parents to reclaim the childhood. But for me, the fourth one is the most crucial one, where the other three are well intended, but what I feel, not just in India, but across the globe, what I see is most of the schools, they introduce a learning system through a software that is called the LMS, which is a learning management system, where a child is forced to use a smartphone to refer their notes and even all the daily quizzes or class lectures, everything. When it comes to schools, most of the schools follow this LMS, and I don't blame, because there are technology companies, there are government who cheerleads new innovation, and they are least bothered about our child's childhood and how they are losing their childhood with the screen time. Innovation is essential, but not at the cost of our child's childhood. This book is the most important one. I definitely recommend this book for all the children's, all the people who handle children day in day out. While phone or the smartphone gives a lot of information for us and child, but let's not lose our next generation to the screen. And it's time we should take collective action in bringing our children's childhood more playful and more independent, and not by the judgments of the social media or the smartphone. Yeah, let's reclaim the childhood from the screen before it's too late.